Sales process mind map. What are the topics we have discussed? Activities we discussed and documents, purpose of documents, what are the topics we discussed? Customer selection, risk, and finally internal controls. So under supplier selection, sorry, it's customer selection. New customer and new sales for existing customer. So both of these decided ability to pay. Okay, so these are the main topics and subtopics we discussed under sales process last class. So purpose of mind map is, before going to the exam, you should study about main and subtopics of each and every section. Not only sales process, not only business process, all the chapters. Control and audit, especially audit, because audit we have lot of subtopics. Okay, so once I finish sales, procurement, and cash management from next class onwards, after finishing the cash management process, from next class onwards, we will start to do questions also. So note down this one, and we will start the procurement process today. Okay. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about second topic, procurement process. Okay, so it's not that much of difficult. Already we discussed about the sales process, opposite side of sales process, further process. So last class, I took one example, this laptop purchase. So your normal day-to-day example. So same example we will take to this procurement process also. So you should remember in easy manner, this is opposite side of sales process. And sales process normally process activities documents in on a document online apply again apply opposite side. Like sales confirmation and purchase confirmation. It means sales order and purchase order. So opposite side of sales process. So quickly we will go through this one. First step. First step of purchase process. So always when we are discussing the theoretical aspect, better to take one example of your day-to-day life example and match with technical. So first step, same example we will take your laptop purchase. What's the first step we should do when it comes to purchase? Last class discuss overall purchase buyer. Sales person point of view and then aim on that buyer point of view buyer point of view. So what is the first step? The purchase. If you want to buy a laptop or mobile phone, what is the first step you will take? But we have to start from the interest. That is the question, correct? Yeah, I'm not saying wrong, that is correct. But before that also, one part is there. For sales, we have started with receiving quotation. Thus we receive inquiry from buyer. Then we should send quotation. So here receiving quotation. So, but buyer point of view, before that one step is there. That is the income code. So you want to purchase a laptop, okay, or mobile phone, costly item. Costly item. So, one of the mobile decide purchase you should decide whether this item is needed for me or not. item purchase you may cost one lakh, 2 lakh purchase main item so that is the first step. So identify need for purchase. Okay, identify need for purchase. First, you have to identify whether this product or this item is needed for me or not. So, likewise, same manner, if you take an organization, that organization, how the purchase an organization it is top secret. How the rank, overall personal activity question, overall sector, overall sector, overall. So when it comes to organization, even in that organization again, goods digger, stoker and stores again. It's about a store's responsible person, storekeepers or store manager. They should first identify whether we need to purchase this item now or we can postpone later. They should decide. So stores again, inventory level like order. So we will discuss this inventory level, those things, inventory management later. So inventory level like order. Raw materials purchase करना एक बार हम decide करेंगे source managers को decide करेंगे whether now we need to purchase or we can postpone. So first that is called identification of need. Then raw material CFP. Everyone के internal control करना है control करते हैं 60 items quantity का आवाज़ पास से तब इसका purchase करना होनी चाहिए इतना control edition लेगा each and every management wise अगर देरी में then if decide करना पास से 60 का आवाज़ then तब तो purchase करना है तो बोला ये identify करना हुआ then हमने purchase करना नहीं किया ये तमाम make identify need for purchase. Second step, now we have to make an inquiry. Now the rest of the sales process activities will be applicable to same thing, opposite side of sales process. So now second step, price and quantity inquiry. So that inquiry should be made by buyer. So third step, we should receive the quotation. So seller will confirm his price and this much of quantity I have to deliver to you. That confirmation should give. So third step, receiving quotation. Okay. Here we should make a first we should identify whether this item should be purchased now or we can postpone later. So now we are deciding, yeah, this item should be purchased now. So decided now price and quantity inquiry, whether this much of quantity is available and what is the price. Once we make an inquiry, supplier will send quotation and we should receive the quotation. Fourth step, supplier selection. Okay, fourth step, supplier selection. So supplier selection is separate topic. Today we are going to discuss like customer selection. So, but more than supplier selection, some areas are there in the supplier. More than customer selection, supplier selection has some additional areas also. Some points we should discuss. So supplier selection. Okay. So once we select the supplier, now Okay. So based on the quotation, this is subject matter, this supply selection. If it is new supplier, we want to select the new supplier, then this is the way. Once we should see the quotation, and after that we should select the supplier. Sometimes we may have approved supplier list. Already the cycle is in. So we supply selection of phone net, we item after supply selection is on. After one supplier select. So, but assume this is a new purchase order and purchase process. So then we have to take this process also, supply selection process also. Once we select the supplier, okay, now supply selection process is finished. Now internally, store department should send purchase requisition to purchasing department. Okay, and store department store purchase items any. Right, store department directly supplier deal करना है. Purchasing department only to deal with supplier. So sending purchase requisition to purchasing department. Okay, so by this should be sent by store department to purchasing department. Once purchase requisition is received by purchase department, 6 steps. Purchase order is sent to supplier. So this is equal to sales order. From seller side, sales order. So purchase order should be sent to supplier. So here we will documents. What are the documents we are using here? Identification of need, there is no document, just the process. No documents involved. Price and quantity inquiry also. There's a known document. We can verbal request, we can send, or through mail, we can send. So receiving quotation. Quotation is a document. Supply selection is a process or based on quotation. Purchase requisition, PR. So purchase requisition is involved, straightforward thing. PO, purchase order. So once purchasing department sends purchase order to the supplier, now what's the next step? Purchase order sent. So what is the purpose of sending purchase order? Confirmation of the order. Confirm the order. Confirmation for order. So here up to now, so you can write so like similar to sales. Okay. So one more column I'm not going to include here. So you just write IUL. Third column, documents. Sales and revenue here we have done. First second. Identify need for purchase. Yeah, itself it's a purpose. Okay, identify. So documents wise quotation purpose. Yeah, receiving quotation, document quotation purpose is in order to analyze the prices. To analyze the prices. Just in order right? The simple way to analyze the prices. To analyze the prices. Supply selection, no any document involvement. So sending purchase requisition. PR purpose is request for purchasing items. It's a request for purchasing item. To request made for purchasing the items. Request is made for purchasing the items. Request is made for purchasing the items. Purpose is comes 2 lines, 3 lines, just make it that. Fourth one, PO is equal to sales order. Confirm the sales by purchaser or buyer. Confirm the sales. Confirm the sales or purchase. Here you can mention purchase. Confirm the purchase by purchaser or buyer. Up to now clear? So now purchase order is sent to supplier. So buyer has confirmed his order. Now confirm. Now the time to receive the. Once you confirm the order, now seller will send the goods to buyer's place. So here receiving goods. Okay. Receiving goods. What's the document? Dispatch note. This is the dispatch note. Negative. GRN. Good receipt. No. Here. Good receipt. No. I will give product data. Good receipt. No. Sometimes if goods are damaged, or else we can say like this. म्यूट करना बोलो नहीं So receiving goods, GRN. So after receiving goods, so this is also same as sales process. This credit note can be issued in at two situations. once receiving the goods, before sending the invoice also you can send. Sometimes with the goods, once you get the signature from the buyer, seller will send the invoice. Okay. So if after receiving the invoice, sometimes buyer will check the quality. Then after goods receiving the process, हमारे लिए एक आइटम check करना करना. ये हमारा ideal situation. So एक आइटम check करना करना होता. Damage items की होना return करना. तो अगर invoice का send करना होता, credit note का send करना है ना, invoice का directly amount का send करना. Depends. So don't think that much of extent. So now we will take receiving goods and after receiving the goods and generate after generating the GRN. Now, if goods are damaged, what is the document? If when we are returning the goods, what is the document we are using? When we are returning the goods, now I'm asking buyer point of view, not seller point of view. When we are returning the goods, what's the document we are using? Wait, from seller point of view. Very no. Okay. Debit? No. Nine transactions, goods are returned. After goods are returned, now thank you for 100 items enter, 10 items return. Now we have to send the. So once we receive the goods, seller point of view, dispatch note enter. Dispatch note enter. Dispatch note again sign acknowledge we have received the goods. So buyer point of view, now we have to think about buyer side. So buyer point of view, we should raise the GRN. Purpose of GRN is that is also confirmation of goods received. I will give confirmation of goods received. Okay. Once confirmation is given, now seller will send the invoice. So receiving invoice. And 9.1. Make the payment. So documents. Purchase invoice, payment document, payment option. Okay. So 10 steps are there in purchase process. So one thing we have missed, what's that? Compared to sales process. We didn't miss. One thing I have not included here. What's that? The next year, taking more doubts here. Doubt are getting on better. Okay. Receiving goods, goods are returned. Then practical situation, technical practical situation, again. Goods से return करना होना, then receive करना होना goods 100 items, लेकिन buyer को return करना होना invoice से कर, invoice amount से करना है debit note है ना, invoice का है तो debit note डाल दूँ मैं, okay? So ideally it should come once you receive the invoice only. After receiving the invoice, if you notice any damaged goods, if you want to return the goods, then you should raise the debit note. Okay, so better happen kalau dibuat ekosnya, kita satu. Okay, sama kita return karena udah internal control yang ada. Sama kita ekor lang, time na kita go. Sama kita kia, area itu ekor karena kita internal control dia yang ada. Itu area debit note ada. Bukti ka dalam control purpose, dalam purchase property na purchase order again 100 items कर गया. GRN, yes, we have received 100 items. But 10 items are damaged, so they will raise the GRN. After that, they will put debit note. ये मत किया. तो बोला एक का कंसिस्ट करने के बाद, मैं places देखें एक का मत एक इशू आपने. ठीक जरा हाँ एक आप, okay एक का mind लेके दिया करना. So we have 10 processes, 10 activities involving purchase process. So these are the documents. So I think up to now, up to PO we have written purposes, no? PO purpose given. So GRN, write the purpose. Purpose is मैंने ये देखा third column दिया डाला है. GRN, confirmation of goods received. Confirmation of goods received. Confirmation of goods received. That is GRN. Debit note. Confirmation of return goods. Confirmation of return goods. Purchase invoice. Purchase invoice. Request for payment or settlement. Request for settlement. Request for settlement. Payment also. What's the purpose of placing payment orders? Payment orders is going about small. It's also confirmation of payment. Internal document. Okay. Confirmation of payment. Confirmation of document to prove payment. Document to prove payment. Proof document for payment. All confirmation. They don't say meaning the money. Because payment ensure. Okay. Confirm the payment or proof document for payment. एक नोट का शॉर्ट नोट लिया था ने एक देखते हैं न्यूज़ फ्लो का बात. So first step, procurement cycle. So these are the activities involved in the purchase process or procurement process. Both are same. Okay. Procurement process activities within the procurement cycle are supply section, placing orders, budgetary control limits. We will discuss separately this matter. This is not a. We don't need to put on the process side, but your purchases must be within the budgetary control. Okay, so I'll explain later. So receiving delivery of the goods and paying for them. This is the summary of purchase process. So you should remember those 10 processes, what we have 10 activities, what we have discussed now. So one thing we have missed, what is that one? What is that? Compared to sales process, we missed one process. What is that? Again, sales process, balance. And one more thing also I want to say. I don't know what I don't know the nature of other subjects and notes contain of other subjects. So when it comes to audit, this subject, the business control and process audit subject, you have more notes. And short notes in the back. Short notes there are like or study करना on first class के ठीक हो गया मैं. Short notes से आप देख कर मेरे read करना, मेरी तरह read करो और ना feel पे notes study किया. And then මෙතන කියන විදිහටම same word same එක use කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා එහෙම rule එකක් නැහැ. Content එක මාරු වෙන්නේ නැතුව content change වෙන්නේ නැතුව ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ වස්තු use කරන්න යන්න පුළුවන්. Content මොනවද? දැන් first one කියලා එන්නේ. ඒක වෙනස් කරන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා බෑ. So likewise content මාරු වෙන්නේ නැතුව ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ words use කරලා ලියන්න. ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. And most importantly when purchase cost කියලා ඉදුවම මේකම ලියන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. දැන් තුන්වයි කරා ඒක ලියුවා. Okay, so it's my request when you are studying, don't directly study these things. This is the final version. Okay, the detailed version of short notes. So most important thing is while you are studying, keep your short notes and first study that one and detailed one. So one theory, the way of personal report theory, especially internal controls and audit part. Okay, so aim of study karana so please. Here and one more thing, then we're gonna several topics and several topics on average 8 pages around the average some 10 average 8 to 10 pages each and every topic somewhere around if you end up with 6 to 8 pages. Make 50 to 70 pages only end up in our business process. Internal controls somewhere around so I have to remember 12 topics are there, somewhere around 5 to 8 pages are there. Audit, you have 5 views, 5 to 6 views. Internal homework, if you do something altogether, you should have 150 pages. Okay, pages here, views here, 150 pages. So then they are our program. Currently, government use under the pages one of the so the area program that take a notes regular. So pages wise, over control okay. So short notes I have given document process. So this is the detailed version. First step, identify the need for the purchase. Second step, there should be a supplier selection process for supply selection process for all major items purchased and new suppliers for these items. Yeah. So before supplier selection, we should receive the quotation. We should make an inquiry and we should receive the quotation. Third one, once you select the supplier, PR, the purchase process should begin with an authorized purchase requisition. Okay. PR should be sent by store manager or store department to purchasing department. The purchase requisition notice issued by the purchasing department has authority to place purchase order with supplier. Purchase order. The purchasing department prepares a purchase order which is sent to the supplier. GRN, delivery notice issued by the storekeeper to prepare a good receive note. Delivery note issued by seller, okay, supplier. Based on that, he should check the items received. Comparing both document, he should raise good receive note, GRN. And debit note. A debit note may be created by buyer when returning goods received on credit. Finally, purchase invoice. Purchase invoice and credit notes entered on accounting system will normally automatically update the accounts payable, control account, and individual supplier accounts. Okay, this is purchase invoice. Once you receive the purchase invoice, debit purchase. Ideally, once you receive the goods, you should make the entry, debit purchase and credit supply. Finally, you should make the sale. It's a simple process of the side of sales. Any doubt? One point we missed. What is that? Statement. So statement normally customer statement should send by seller. Okay. This side, as a buyer, we are the customer of seller. So our side is credit balance, not debit balance. So normally they will send affidavit known and creditors known and pay balance. They will a statement same as both of the document. Customer side, next sales order PO. Sales order for the PO. So a statement again, how much we purchase, how much we return, how much we pay, and what's the remaining balance as of particular date. The same as customer statement. So these are the processes. Okay. 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 So next topic, now process is over. Process, activities, and document. Purposes of each and every document over. Now, subtopics of purchase process. First one, under subtopic, supplier selection. All suppliers selection. All like the laptop, phone purchase, phone. Supply sector, and some item phone purchase price okay. Phone items specifications so items specifications and iPhones fine. Okay. Now you should select the supplier. The market. Supplier sector no consider. From the organization point of view, but tell me, what are the things you should consider when you select supplier for your personal consumer items? Mainly, sale is after sale. Okay, very important. Like we can go mobile phone now, laptop now. Electronic items, household items, electronic normally purchase mainly quality, warranty, prices, mainly after sales. It is important. You warranty the 5 years, for example, 5 years, 10 years, 10 years on. 10 years, actually, prepare in warranty now, okay, fine. But prepare for the our gas in the over gas enough. Repairs our supply revision money. Yeah, other supply reach in a very difficult a supply select quality my personal opinion, okay. my personal opinion, cultural quality is not 10 years, 15 years, quality is not. Moreover, a years within warranty period. After warranty period, application within warranty period, moreover issue even AC or electronic items. AC warranty period supply is supply accessible right now. Then phone and beach email. Reach and the Sadia, then the Balan Masiamo, copy better. So sales after sales is most important thing when it comes to this type of slide. Okay, this is our personal purchase. Let's say, like overall, first business sector. Okay, as in that is some. More business normally buy and selling. Normally versus import karla, sell karla. First thing is this import karla, and then local market sell karla. So now, over manufacturer करना है मेरे को, अभी इंडिया में manufacture करना है, तो इंडिया का बाय सेल करना, वो यार सप्लाई कर देना, वो आगे point of view है कि वो manufacture करना है, just importing and selling in local market. First है एक वाला करना है, t-shirts, shirts ये लगे import करना, then business से start करना, मार्क्स याद दिया. So still again over 1,000 watt is the land. So step again, small amount of watt is done. Let's say 50 watt is lower. Other than that, एक person on the successful video. Like एक successful video. Second step more than one demand take आना कोटा increase कर. एक demand take very initially we have 3 items successfully completed. Then second month, third month, then cover 50 items or supply. You have done more than that, you make off. Any demand like a very big. Quality is one reason. Then the price of one reason is the poor. Then same quality level again. When a supply is good, then all the buy customer. Anything the price is 9,000 but just 6,000. So price is okay, same quality. Okay, make price same quality where are going to make quality and price what market 9,000 product what 6,000 what is supply pricing is what margin what costing what is 4,000 organizations companies 9,000 because they buy 7,000 but same item you can buy from your supply 4,000 so what buy profit 6,000 even 5,000 not sell करना पड़ेगा एक और भी है even 7,000 sell करना पड़ेगा प्रश्न है market price is 9,000 still below market price so there are one reason because quality and price demand के value में quality का price का बड़ा maintain करना main reason है क्या आगे supply के quality okay so supply is okay, work okay, then 50 items are successfully complete profit. Now you have demand. Like you stock snack. Next time, cover 25 quantity extra. Cover 75. Then or profit what is business what is supplier? Yeah, we business the stock for more than what is business के local marketing करने हैं और कुछ नहीं है what is supplier? Indian supplier yeah we business कर more business से ना yeah we business का stock for more than when you select the supplier, price is important, fine. But more than that, two things are there. Okay. When you are selecting the supplier, more than price, two things are there. Operation reliability. You should give quality products. Quality demand like one reason for that increasing quality. Okay. Price is then 9,000 market value and a product where 6,000 quality compromise with how gun 9. Then 9,000 product for 2 years system every 6,000 just 6 months use 6,000 and in a year 1,000 run operation reliability quality products is the known the provider supplier quality products is the known here okay first second thing is financial stability at the end bankrupt the overall situation again. Mass of Pune, a bank of Vala, close to the operation here, how the suffering. Well, so supplier should send items whenever we need. He should have that capacity. Okay, the supplier should have that capacity whenever buyer needs. He should supply. He should supply the goods. Okay, so overall the owner supply with quality. So operation reliability and financial stability. When you select the supplier, you should consider these two things. Not only price. If price consider only short term. When it comes to operation point of view, always buyer should consider these two things. Whether the supplier will provide quality products, whether can provide whenever I need. Continuous supply. The continuous supply of value business without any interruption, you can do. Clear? So, when selecting the supplier, there should be a supplier selection process for all major items purchased. Okay, supplier selection process for all major items purchased. New supplier of these items. The selection process should include measures to check the operational reliability and financial stability of the supplier. These two things you must consider before selecting the supplier. Operational reliability means he should send quality products whenever you require. But on the other hand, financial stability, he should have financially stable person. He should be a financially stable person because you should not be a bankrupt person very soon. Then only you can continue your business without any interruption. Okay, going concern. Basically, going concern. Then overall import local sales business again. Overall profit have higher profit have financial stability. Nothing is up. Is close to making something over. So air diligence organizations are not that. So continuous supply. Going concern of supplier must be considered when you are selecting the supplier. So operational reliability and financial stability. How you can evaluate the supply? Then supply කෙනෙක්ව කොහොමද අපි හොයාගන්නේ? So that is simple one from knowledge of industry. Then overall industry cover වෙනවා ආගන්න පුළුවන්. Recommendation from other users of suppliers. Recommendations so these are the straightforward thing. From an approach by sales representative. Then supply sales representative distributor company saying supply sales representative කියනවා. paying companies of දෙනවා වගේ. So ගොඩාක් paying companies and what else? Supply representative. Then lubricants, lubricants, oil items. The representative distributors representatives. Here representatives through internet. So next topic is most important topic. So when you are selecting the supplier, these two things you should consider. Okay, this is the main concern: operational reliability and financial stability. So if you interpret these two things, we have another 4 sub considerations. Okay, the making interpretation the main ending. First one, operation reliability and financial stability can be interpreted into 4 considerations. First one, whether evaluations. Here we call evaluating supplier selection. How we can evaluate? So we should ask these questions and method of evaluation. So this side, method of evaluation I will give through the tube. Evaluation. When you are selecting the customer, these things must be evaluated. Okay, the make awareness making interpretation the making. Okay, first, whether supplier can deliver required quantities. Okay, first one, whether supplier can deliver required quantities. If you want 50 items, if he delivers only 30 items, that's not required for, that's not suit for you. Okay, first one, whether he can deliver required quantities. Second one, whether supplier can whether supplier can continuously deliver the goods. This is important. Okay, whether supplier can continuously deliver the goods. Third one, whether he can deliver quality products, quality items. Fourth one. Whether he has any ethical issues. What is meant by ethical issues? Ethical issues can anyone understand? Then what is supplier child labor activities involved in then illegal activities involved in okay, so that also should be considered. So main 4 points, whether he can deliver required quantities. Then required request quantity whether supplier whether he can continuously deliver the goods or not. Continuously deliver the goods or not. Right? Example I want to give up. After 3 months, or business on the pick up stop karo, over. Finally, the third point, quality products, most important one, whether he can deliver quality products or not. Fourth one, ethical issues. If he has any ethical issues, that will impact to the business as well. Okay. Methods of evaluation. Methods of this is evaluation. Methods of evaluation. So first we discuss this one. Issue to evaluate. So here you can mention like this. Make issues kira bang. Make issues, methods of evaluation. First, we will discuss this part. Is the supplier reliable? Does it have capability to produce goods the quantities required? Okay, this is the meaning whether required quantities can be delivered by him. Is the supplier reliable? Does it have the capability to produce goods in the quantities required? In simple format, whether he can deliver the required quantities. Second one, is the supplier financially stable? That's the second point, whether he can continuously deliver. That's the meaning of financially stable. Is there a risk that the supplier will become insolvent? Okay. Confusion any? Second point is continuously meaning. Okay. If he becomes insolvent, then if he becomes bankrupt, then you cannot receive the goods from him. Then you can't do your business properly. Unable to supply the goods. Third one, can the supplier deliver goods to the quality standard? Fourth one, ethical issues. The organization may have policy that will not buy goods from suppliers that use child labor or street workers badly. Then organizations, ethical issues in a company are taken. So these are the 4 issues to be evaluated before selecting the supplier. So short form of these things only I have given there. Okay, make a read. Now, how to evaluate? Methods of evaluation. How these issues can be evaluated. The minimum issues are done. Ko mother then required quantity se send karna hua hai ya quality product send karna ya ethical issues diya hamara ya bankrupt bin hai ya ko mother ensure karna. Okay, these are the things. First one, is the supplier reliable? Does it have capability to produce goods in quantities required? Required quantities यार send करना पुलवान दा किया ला अभी कौन तो evaluate करना. Method of evaluation. Ask the supplier to provide references from the other customers. The other customers say reference supplier directly reference a supplier to reference. Final objective we should take the references from suppliers other customers. So if they get okay, the supplier can deliver whatever you require. So make a reference that get another. Second, same problem method, second evaluation method, it may also be appropriate for the organizations buyer to visit the supplier's production center to inspect the facility. So you are the buyer and the supplier, okay? The order for example, water bottle company money purchase sale then over doubt okay, per week you need 100 quantities of bottles, 500 liter bottles, you need 100 quantities. Then what person then my gun what deliver another a required quantities. Mage customers study different sample. Cover evaluation of the mage plant factory visit karna continuously produce overall requirement fulfill water maybe capacity supply deliver water capacity a expectation what is the point? Wow. So by visiting supplier places, you can judge whether he is capable to deliver the required quantities or not by analyzing this plant size and other factors. First one, we should refer the other customers, no, and we should visit the client supplier's plant and we should analyze this capacity. Second one, financial stable, whether he can deliver continuously or not. Whether he can deliver continuously or not. So for that, we can request their audited accounts. Latest audited accounts or latest management accounts, then we can see their operating cash flows. If their operating cash flows in positive figure, then we have okay. We can continue going. They can continue more than 1 year or 2 year long period. If they have net assets, that is also one indication, positive indication. If they have profits, that also positive indications. On the other hand, if they have loss, problem. If they have negative cash flows, problem. If they have negative equity, net asset, that is also a problem. So by analyzing their financial statements, audited accounts, latest audited accounts, we can take judgment. Okay, this supply can continue for long period. Ask supplier to provide reference from its bank. It may also be possible to obtain financial information from the supplier, such as copy of financial statement. Quality production method. We should take samples before giving big order. If you want to purchase 100 quantities or 1,000 quantities, before that you should purchase only 10 quantities. You should check quality. So sample purchase will be the sample purchase is the evaluation method. If sample purchase is satisfied for you, then you can make big order. Ethical issues, you should take written confirmation from your supplier. Then ethical issues, power evaluation, then internet research on the pass records in other areas. And information. So if any problem comes later, then we can show that confirmation. We have obtained this confirmation. Then question about the ethical issues, illegal production product delivery question and illegal problem Nisa, effect problem. So ethical issues, ask supplier to confirm in writing that it does not use child labor and provides reasonable working conditions for employees. Only way is getting confirmation. So this is important topic. When you are selecting the supplier, again I will take two things you should consider: operational reliability of supplier and financial stability of supplier. That operational reliability and financial stability can be interpreted like these 4 points. So now here you can see here whether supplier can deliver required quantities. What is the method of evaluation? One method I will write here. So detailed version you can see in the tube. So method of evaluation, reference from suppliers other customers. Whether the supplier can continuously deliver the goods. Whether a bracket again. Financial stability. Obtain latest financial statements of suppliers. Obtain latest financial statements of suppliers. Supplier quality products. Sample test. Okay. Ethical issues. Obtain written confirmation. Okay. So these are the issues to be evaluated and methods of evaluating of supplier selection. Okay. So third topic, budgetary controls. So I told when we were discussing process of purchase, I told purchase should be within the budgetary limits. So the audits purchase everyone the owner will get a okay. Finally, cost control is most important factor in the organization. Companies cost control is the most important thing. Companies other things also there, but one of the most important things is cost control. Then own a purchase control app network. Own a purchase control internal control app network, budgetary control app network. This is control app network. Own a purchase control. This is limit app. One of the implications. What are the implications if you do not place controls, budgetary controls or internal controls in purchase process. Cost will go up. What type of cost? One side purchase cost, another side holding cost of inventories. And own net purchase on own net. Then nowadays, lot of organizations are adopting this system. So already items on. So why this type of things they have adopted? Because reducing the unwanted holding cost. So if you don't have any budget limits or budgetary controls, what will happen? Your purchase cost will go up. Not only purchase cost, inventory holding cost, finally it will end up with the cost increment of component. In order to reduce those things, okay, mainly cost, okay, some other reasons also there, but we are going to discuss those things now. So in order to reduce the cost, mainly cost, each and every organizations have budgets. Now, open company budget budget prepare basically. One of the basic generally, I'm not saying 100%, generally, budget take one of the base current. Sales forecast. So, sales right? Profit taking, then venture profit done on so sales. Judge A sales base current, the rest of the things will be determined. Venture sales current based on GP margin. Okay. Forecast based on sales base sales forecast A sales forecast profit forecast in between purchase budget now. Okay. So venture sales current venture quantities only venture quantities produced venture raw materials only. You know map current. Map करला A purchase control A quantity A price control throughout the year. Okay, that is called budget. So purchase quantity and prices must be observed throughout the year, and they should have separate purchase budget. Whenever they want to purchase items or let's say raw materials, they should in line with that budget. That is called budgetary controls. What are the two elements on the budgetary controls? One is price, another one is quantity. Quantity without main price is A price is the base supply to select with other factors. Quotation okay. Take 100, I take 110, I take 124. First, I will low cost normally quotations with more low cost Islam. After that only we will focus on other factors. But it doesn't mean only you should consider prices, prices but generally prices are burn. Okay? Human nature. Why we are looking prices first? Because of this. Because we have to reduce the cost of purchase. Then purchase cost is low price quantity okay, this will be balancing activity. So budget limit should be there. Budget should be there for purchases. That budget should contain two things. One is price, and one is quantity. So that's the one we are going to discuss here. Budgetary controls in purchasing. There should be budgetary controls over purchase quantities and prices. This should ensure that significant differences between actual and budgeted purchase quantities. So in organizations, in every company, they should have copy of monthly budget and actual limit. Budget prepared once in 6 months at least copy. Our monthly thing. Okay. When it comes to monthly at least the biannual 6 month budget the actual budget actual value positive figure budget the actual a gap free is usually so at least once in a month or at least quarterly basis, they should have budget meeting. In that meeting, they should compare budget figures and actual figures. That's the one we are mentioning here. They should ensure that significant differences between actual and budgeted purchase quantities and prices or prices are reported to the management for investigation. The head of purchasing will be made responsible for the budget and trying to ensure that actual purchases are consistent with the budget. This is the one I have explained short while ago. The actual purchases must be in line with budgeted figures. Then only they can control the cost. So budget main purpose is controlling the cost. So whenever you purchase, you make the purchase, your purchase must be in line with budget. If any deviations take place, you should justify that deviation. Okay. So these are the things. Only 3 points we should learn about budgetary controls. That's straightforward one. So fourth topic is documents involving purchase process. So like sales process, this is the purchase requisition format. This is the first document involved in the purchase process. So in the note also I have mentioned purchase process is dealing with PR, purchase requisition. So in some cases, the purchasing department will ask several suppliers to submit quotation before choosing a supplier. Already we discussed this is the format of purchase requisition. The purchase requisition must be signed, which means approved by an authorized person. This acts as a control to prevent unwanted, unnecessary purchase. This is the control point. Purchase requisition, not only purchase requisition, as we discussed in sales process, each and every document must be approved by authorized person. Like sales process, every process. Hereafter also we are going to discuss about cash management, inventory management, or DP. So every process, every document must be approved by authorized person of organization. That is the key controls of every organization. So this is the purchase requisition requested by department, which department we are sending, request by whom, quantity, code number, description, estimated cost. These are the information should be included in the purchase requisition. What are the items you are going to purchase? After PR, next document is PO, purchase order. This is the confirmation of purchase. So this must be sent by purchasing department. This also must be approved by authorized person. Mainly purchase department. Purchase order confirmation, order reference, date, deliver address. Sometimes head office store delivery address. So delivery address and items, quantity, description, those must be included here. And like PR, you can see here, prepared by, checked by, authorized by. Why these things are mentioned here? Internal control. So likewise, here also 3 signature spaces are there. Purchase order. There should be several copies of purchase order. A copy should be retained in purchasing department. Normally, purchase order copy should be 3 copies must be there. One is purchasing department, seller. Seller. We have to send one thing, and accounting department. Retained in purchasing department, sent to the accounts department, sent to the storekeeper. Sometimes 4 or 3 storekeeper also should have, and we have to send another purchase order to seller. Send to the storekeeper or the manager who made the purchase requisition. So 3, the purchase order should be kept in 3 locations. First one is purchasing department. Second one, accounts department. Third one, storekeeper. So PR, PO. Third document, good receipt note. So good receipt note, date, time, and order number. Purchase order number should be mentioned here. In the sales process, we discussed about 3-way matching concept. What are the documents we check in the sales process? 3-way matching. 3 documents we have to compare. What are those? Sales order, dispatch note, invoice. So what we have ordered whether we have received. What we have paid, whether we have received. Okay, so order, received, paid. These three things must be matched. In order to match these three things, we are using three documents called PO, sales order, in sales process, sales order, delivery note, invoice. Likewise, here also, three-way matching, what we order, PO. Whether we have received, GI. Whether we have paid for received items, invoice. Here also, purchase order, good receipt note, sales invoice. Just when mention that one, it's the main control in sales and purchase. You can also learn that. There are other study practical they want. Three-way matching in sales. Sales, right this side, order. Three-way matching. Three-way matching. Make okay? So this is called three-way matching, sales and purchase. So good receipt note, quantity, number, description, and order number also we have to mention. And warehouse, which warehouse we have received. Storekeeper prepares a good receipt note. This is a record showing the details of good receipt, and which also matches the good receipt to the original purchase order. Final one, I didn't mention here invoice. With invoice, I have mentioned payment also. Supply invoices that have been approved for payment should be paid on the appropriate date. The person making payment should not be the person who checks the invoice details or the person who approved the invoice. So here, this is most important control. This second one. The person making the payment should not be the person who checked the invoice details. Prepared person of invoice prepared person and payment person should not be the same person. Segregation of duties. We can discuss in internal control chapter. Segregation of duties. Segregation of duties is the most important key internal control. Okay, so sales control discuss on last class. Again, how then documents prepared by, checked by, authorized by. 3 persons are involved by segregation of duties. In each and every internal control, you can see common control segregation of duties. That is one of the most important control in the organization. Segregation of duties controls the useful net. Okay. Then prepared by, checked by, approved by, controls the but same person does all these 3 activities. Purpose a control objective achieve then mama prepare kar lo, mama check kar lo, mama approve karo. Control control nahi lekna hai. A control objective achieve a controls down prepare करने के ना मनो शॉर्ट करो, नेक्स्ट मिस्टेक करो, चेक करने के ना अप्रूव करने के ना एक रेक्टिफाई करना लो. एक नहीं पर्पस है प्रिपेयर करने के ना चेक करना अप्रूव करना ना एक पर्पस है अप्रूव किया ऑब्जेक्टिव अचीव है ना नहीं ये तो पता ए ऑब्जेक्टिव अचीव है ना मनो करना सेग्रीगेशन ऑफ ड्यूटीज प्रिपेयर्ड बाय वन पर्सन चेक बाय अनदर पर्सन अप्रूव्ड बाय ऑथराइज्ड पर्सन ये तो पता ना एक कंट्रोल ऑब्जेक्टिव अचीव है each control place करना objective आती है ये objective है each and every control has intended objective each and every control has intended objective ये objective हमारे risk के अगर reduce करेंगे अगर sales process में discuss कराने risk in order to reduce the risk specific control is there so in order to achieve that objective intent that is called intended objective of specific controls in order that intended in order to achieve that intended objective of particular control segregation is also most important. Okay, so here the person making the payment should not be the person who checked the invoice details or the person who approved the invoice. Approved by independent person, payment should be made by another independent person. After the goods have been delivered, the supplier submits an invoice for the goods. This is checked by accounts department. The supplier's invoice is checked against the purchase order and GRA. The supplier invoice is checked against purchase order and GRA. This is the one we have discussed now. 3-way matching. And the necessary steps are taken to pay supplier. The invoice is also recorded in the bookkeeping system. The main points for payment related fees. So once you receive the goods, next step is what? Receiving the invoice. Once you receive the invoice, you should make the payment. When you make the payment, these things must be considered. First one, supply invoices that have been approved for payment. Once you receive the purchase invoice, that must be approved for the payment. Then purchase invoice have received the become payment letter karana back. A payment letter approve karana. A payment approve karana likhke naman payment process karana back. Payment letter karana kari invoice PO GRN should be matched. And finally, the invoice is also recorded in the bookkeeping system. Invoice payment card payment letter bookkeeping record now. So we will have a break 15 minutes and we will start again 10:15. So we will finish this 3 topics are there. Businesses, supply statement and finally internal control. After that we will move on to cash management. Okay, next topic, procurement process. Next topic is business risk in the procurement process. Further process. So quickly we'll go discuss this one. Supplier is unable to provide the goods. Again, I will tell. Here, I have given only 9 points. So you can't limit up to 9 points. You can write any risk if you feel in the procurement process. But I can give the clue, I can give the way of writing the answers for business process, business risk in the procurement process. First, take it from first step. Identification of need. Okay, identify the need. Quotation. PR. PO. Likewise, the process is there. Throughout the process, if you feel anything may go wrong, that is risk. So let's say identification of need. So here I didn't mention that phrase, identification of need. When you identify the need, storekeeper or store manager, sometimes they may make mistake. So that is also risk. You can write. So the way of writing the answer, the way of getting the answer from the queue, you can see the process from the identification to make the payment. Whatever you think this may go wrong, those are risks. Okay, identification is from identification එකේ මොනවද ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒක risk. PR එක දාද්දී identify කරපු item එක නැතුව PR එකක් දාලා තියෙනවා නම් ඒකත් risk. identify කරලා තියෙන්නේ we need 100 quantities කියලා. හැබැයි request කරලා තියෙන්නේ 120 quantities නම් ඒකත් risk. So throughout the process, if you find any mistakes can be happen. කියලා මොනවද identify කරනවා නම් ඒක risk. So here supplier is unable to provide the goods or cannot provide the goods to the required quality. Quality again, goods because synchronized is 100 items. Only if I have synchronized 8 items now, it up this. Goods are ordered that not are required. Order කරලා තියෙන හැබැයි ඕන නැති goods. Order කරලා තියෙන quantity එක ඕන වලට වැඩි quantity. ඒකත් risk. ඒ cost එක වැඩි වෙනවා. Goods are ordered from non-existent supplier. Fraud. මේවත් වෙනවා Audits. Supplier එකටම නැහැ. හැබැයි order කරලා invoice වල payment යන විදිය set කරනවා. හරි. ඕගොල්ලෝ නාම පුළුවන් goods එක receive කරනකොට කොහොමද retrievation කොහොම කරන්නේ නැතුව කොහොමද කරන්නේ කියලා. ඒක නැත්තම් මේකක් වෙනවා. එතන කියන්නේ risk නේ. මේක තියාගන්න තමයි three way control එක තියෙන්නේ. orders තියෙනවා. on paper නේ order දාන්න. order paper එකේ තමයි order එක දාන්න. ඒක document එක create කරනවා. එතන අපි කියමු three way machine control එක නැහැ කියලා. order එක දානවා paper එකේ තියෙනවා. GR එකක් නැහැ. invoice එකක් තියෙනවා. paper එක ගන්න control නැත්තම් control deposit එක identify කරගන්න පුළුවන්. control නැත්තම්. එතකොට order කරන goods ටික දෙන්නේ නැතුව payment එක යනවා. සමහරවිට order කරනවා supply එකකින් නැති මේකට fraud කරනවා. එතකොට මේක control කරන්නේ කොහොමද? three way control. three way matching control. invoice එකයි GR එකයි sorry PO එකයි GR එකයි invoice එක match කරලා මේක ඇත්තටම receive කරලා තියෙනවද payment එක කරන්න. ඒ control එකෙන් මේක rectify කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Goods are not delivered. We ordered, but goods are not delivered. That is also risk. Delivered in bad condition. So that is the risk. Goods discovered to be unusable. Use करना very items purchase करो नहीं हो. The supplier submits an invoice for an incorrect amount. Goods ordered for 100 quantities, received 100 quantities, but supplier has same invoice for 120 quantities. एक बारह तो pay करो, company का loss, 20 quantities loss win. So that is also risk, one of the risks. Supplier invoice is paid even though the invoice details are incorrect due to fraud and error. The supplier may deliver more goods less or goods less than order. So these are the few risks I have given in the procurement process. More than this you can write. මෙතන නැති ඒවා මොනවද කියන්නේ? this නැති ඒවා. ඔය කියවනේ identify කරනවානේ මේක need එක identify කරනවා. මේ quantities අපිට ඕනේද? අතටම අපිට ඕන වෙන්නේ 20 quantities but we have ordered 30 quantities. So 10 quantities cost we have to incur. So that is a cost increment, cost increase. So that is one of the risks. So likewise, can you say one or two risks which are not mentioned here? මොනවද? දැන් මෙතන වෙන්නේ මොනවද? ඕගොල්ලන් රිස්ක් කියලා මොනවද යවුවොත්? ඕගොල්ලන් කඩලා ඕගොල්ලන්ට ඩිපෙන්ඩ් වෙන්නේ ඒ process එකේ මොනවද මිස්ටේක්ස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මොනවද කියන්නේ? මේක නැති රිස්ක්. Supplier selection again. Supplier insolvent වෙනවා. ඒකත් risk නේ. ඒක ඔයගොල්ලන් business එක කරගෙන ගියා 3 months හොඳට ගිය business එක සරිලි bankrupt වුණා නම් ඒකත් risk. ඒකත් විතර ලියන්න පුළුවන් වෙන. return කරනකොට ඇත්තටම return කරන්නේ නැති එකට debit note එකක් දාන්න. මේක නෑ ඒ sales එකෙන් කියනවා මම හිතන්නේ. sales note එක. debit note එක ඒ පැත්තෙන් මොනවද? ඇත්තටම return කරලා නැහැ. ඒක debit note එකක් දාන්න. ඒ වගේම ඇත්තටම debit මේ අපි return කරලා නැහැ. ඒක debit note එකක් දාන්න. වෙන document එකෙන් බලන්න. දැන් risk එක ගැවුවොත් ස්ටාගාලා ක්ලික් කරගෙන document එක. දැන් මේවා debit note කරලා මෙතන නැහැ. වෙන මොනවද කියන්නේ? account statement එක ගන්නවා. account statement එක ගන්නකොට return එක වැදලා mention කරන්න. settlement එක වැදලා mention කරන්න. ඒවත් risk. දැන් risk කියලා කියනවා risk එක වෙන word එක use කරගෙන mistakes. or weakness මොනවද තියෙනවා මේ එහෙම හිතා ගන්නවා. ඒවා තමයි risk එක අතන තියෙන technical word එක. so කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියන්නේ? මොකක්ද ප්‍රශ්න කියලා දෙන්නා නේ. නිදිමත නැහැ නේද? ආයතනයක් තියෙනවානේ අපිට ඒ කියන්නේ මොනවද කියන්නේ? වැරදි වෙන්නේ නැහැ ඔයාලා කියන හරි වෙනවා. වයින් දුර කියන්නේ. මාස්සේ නැහැ. නැති ඒවා කියන්න ඕන මොනවද ඒක? මේ බාලට කියන්නේ මොනවද කියන්නේ? දැන් මම කියවනේ මොනවා ගන්න අපේ එක. හරි PR එකේ මොනවද ඉෂුස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්? what is the question? Purchase requisition again, one of the documents here, supplier relation, one of the processing identification of key. Seven processing one of the main inquiry main current. Third thing one of the quotation receiving quotation. Fourth supplier section. So I will give you a clue. Start from quotation receipt. Then in the logging in one of the receipt number one again. Quotation one of the receipt number one. Basic question. Process is subject taking over chapter सुने मेरे लेस का subject है process है. Because words are sales in लेस. Easy subject है. क्या risk को लेना पड़ना. माफ कर क्या. Quotation again in now one of the mistakes in the book. This is one of the mistakes in the book. Supply selection, quotation receive one of the issues in the book. Inappropriate supply selection in the book. The book quotation data because इधर बंदे मेन का काम है किला नहीं होगा ये निका हरी मैं सब्जेक्ट है मैं नहीं अरे ओवरऑल मेन क्वेश्चन है कौन बाय टू लेकिन निका सब्जेक्ट की मैटर है व्हाट इसके लिए मैं निका हमें के लिए इसके लिए नहीं तो प्रो अब इसके लिए नहीं समझ वो एक्सेस करना इंटरनल कंट्रोल नहीं तेरा कंट्रोल वो भी ओके ये ना कंट्रोल नहीं ऐसा ही है Quotation और प्रश्न करना बोलो एक quotation approve करना नहीं है लेकिन assume करना approve करने के लिए नहीं ये सारे विषय है विषय के मिटिगेट करना है approve करने के लिए अपॉइंट करना एक ओके approval करने लगाना है ये सारे क्या क्या ना so quotation taking inappropriate quotation will be selected एक फिर quantity own quantity में request कर दिया ओके ये आप कहता है आप कोई को कांटेक्ट करना बोलो मैं नेटिव पर कांटेक्ट करना बोलो थ्रू document processing okay so those are the risk and sixth topic is supplier statement reconciliation already we discussed customer statement reconciliation no make adi supplier statement again mono amount owed to supplier by the customer of beginning of the month, opening balance, goods supplied, okay, purchase amount, goods returned, payments, closing balance, opening balance, purchase amount, return amount, settled amount, closing balance. So those informations are available in the supplier statement, sales side, customer statement. Sorry. So these are the internal controls available in procurement process. So I will read few internal controls. So rest of the things you can read and understand. It's a straightforward thing. First internal control, a valid MRN, material requisition note, should be raised by the division which requires good. A store एक store against company का तो source नहीं raw material source production department का then raw material purchase का पसे GRN का डाला raw material purchase करना source department store करने source department का किया source medical करना internal answer करना production department का so before delivering those goods source should request material requisition. Okay, material requisition note must be sent by production department to stores department. Based on that, stores department will issue the goods, raw materials to production department to make production. So in that time, material requisition note must be sent by production department to stores department. At the time of delivering or issuing the items to production department, MIN, material transfer note or material issue note must be sent by stores department. Those are control. A control exam. Hari quantity kama interchange la diyenge. Nata ito mo ni consumption la diyena. ඒ ලොකු ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවානේ operations වල issue දැන් එළියේ ඉඳලා purchase කරනකොට GR දාලා යනවා. ඇතුලේ මේ කොතනද ලොකේට් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? සමහර stocks තියෙන පුළුවන් stores එකෙන්, සමහර stocks තියෙන පුළුවන් production department එකේ ආවලා තියෙනවා. So ඒවා හරියටම control කරගන්න ඕනේ. කොච්චර production department එකේ තියෙන්නේ, කොච්චර working progress එකේ තියෙන්නේ, කොච්චර daily finish good වුණාද ඒවා ඔක්කොම documents through proof කරගන්න ඕනේ. In order to prove that a valid MRN should be raised by the division which requires good, normally production department. It should be authorized by the relevant line manager, production manager. A storekeeper should raise approved purchase requisition based on predetermined stock level. These are the controls. Storekeeper should raise approved purchase requisition based on predetermined stock level. In the beginning of the session, I told their predetermined stock level is 60. Earlier, they had 100. It has come down to 60. Then, now the time to request new stocks. That request must be made by storekeeper. That is the explanation given here. Storekeeper should raise approved purchase requisition based on predetermined stock level. According to the organization control or organization policy, if their stock has come down to 60, then they have to request new stocks. So that is called predetermined stock level. Finance division should approve the budgetary limits in the proposed purchase. Budget limit is control by cost taker reduce karagana. Unbounded cost taker ika karana jo diya ganna a budget limit is important. Budget eka control naman. Budget is eka control. That is the whatever activities done by the organization, those are controlled. Risk mitigate karagana control. One of the risk unbounded cost will be increased. In order to reduce that cost, budgetary control is budgetary limit is one type of control. Purchasing division may adopt proper supplier selection methodology, either in obtaining quotation, minimum quotation, using registered suppliers. So one of these methods can be used. First one is they might have registered suppliers. Or they can choose through quotations. They should receive 3 quotations at least. Based on 3 quotations who quoted low price, that person should be selected as supplier. It's a general thing. Other factors also they have to consider. Quality and other factors also they have to consider. Applying tender process. A separate committee should involve in deciding an appropriate supplier using pre-decided benchmarks such as cost and quality. Approved purchase order will be sent to the supplier. Approved purchase order. Purchase order must be approved. That is also PR also should be approved. So those are controls. Supplier will deliver the goods with following documents: original invoices, copy of delivery. Then we can api process study karana delivery process. After the sign the seminar was invoice practical one shot same situation somebody deliver note and sign invoice. Okay. An approved gate pass should be used when goods are received. At the time of receiving the goods, security should issue the gate pass also. Those are the controls. Thank you. Goods should be physically checked with delivery note, and PO, purchase order, and good received notes should be raised based on actual quantity received by the stores. GRN and PO must be checked based on the PO. Goods, physical goods must be checked. After checking the physical goods, whether ordered goods are received, that must be confirmed by the storekeeper, and GRN must be raised. 3 ways. Already we discussed that one. This is the important one. This is most important one when it comes to organization, company's point of view. Payment voucher should be approved by next level officer based on the pre-decided limits. Then practical situation, normally organizations need payment again, what are frauds name. Okay, go on the payment supply can invoices suppliers supply exists bogus invoice create payment finance manager, finance controller check control comply visa check become benefit control payment payment receipt fraud involvement or practical situation. Payment receipt the frauds simple answer. Cash involved. Then receipt receipt cash receipt fraud company 100,000 receipt 100,000 50,000 around fraud name. Okay, account finance manager pocket fraud name. 50,000 rotate personal loan interest 2 weeks 1 month interest 50,000 let us fraud normally audit firm long outstanding then long outstanding long outstanding long outstanding genuine long outstanding create long outstanding advance pay normally advance very advance pay subsequently settle purchase long outstanding advance fee so those are the indications of frauds. Okay, advance payment and this receipt long outstanding. There are indications. 100% confirm factors and so payment and receipt side frauds is cash involvement. So most important control must be implemented in every organization approval process. Okay, so each and every voucher cannot be signed by the director. Who will see this year director sign control that can be signed by accountant. 1 lakh to 500,000 finance manager, 500 to 700,000 finance controller, above 700,000 finance director. Okay, again hierarchy approval level design करना एक implement the payment also approve होगा become payment also sign करना काम होना invoice invoice books की available ना sales receipt वाला verify duplicate payments. So payment voucher should be approved by next level officer based on the pre-decided limits. Pre-decided limit means that's the one I explained now. Up to 100,000 account assistant, sorry, accountant 1 to 5 lakhs, finance manager 5 to 8 lakhs, finance controller more than 8 lakhs, finance director. That is called pre-decided limits. Original invoices are cancelled through paid seal and checks are signed by the relevant authority level set by those charged with governance. Forget about this, those charged with governance. Just understand these original invoices are cancelled through the paid seal. And payment also paid money. Payment confirm. Okay. What is the objective? Payment also paid. Payment. But it's objective. Pay payment also pay duplicate payment avoid paid seal already paid. Paid seal if whatever already controls also they can place. But point objective is avoiding duplicate payments. Okay. Cross checks. None is cross checks cross karo use cross check. Proper segregation of duties. Proper segregation of duties should be placed in above activities function. So you can see every internal control is segregation of duties. Each and every activity organization should place segregation of duties control. That is most important control. Segregation of duties internal control again internal controls segregation internal control segregation of duties highlight most important control. That is the number one control must be placed in every organization. A control a control 0. So this is most important control in internal controls section. Supply statement should be cross-checked with the creditors ledger. All the source documents stated above should be pre-numbered. So these are the controls involved in purchase process. So do this question, and after that we will move on to cash management process. WhatsApp group open कराने point है। एक है पता rename करना तो अलग है। Batch number एक है तीसरा दाग 18 W एक है पता तीसरा दाग क्या दाग है attendance mark करेगा तो कौन कौन सा कोटा कितना mark करेगा तो कोटा This is one of them. Okay. So what is the answer for first one? The order, correct order. First one, here. Operation and purchase requisition. Second one, purchase order. Third one, delivery note. Based on the delivery note only, producing note will be generated. Sometimes independently also, without delivery note also, purchaser can generate GRN. So purchase requisition, purchase order, delivery note, GRN, final invoice. Second question, a purchase order is prepared by a person in the purchasing department and copies are sent to the supplier, the accounting department and stores. Okay. So So next process, cash management process. told you have 7 topics under business process: sales, procurement, cash management, property plant and equipment management, inventory, payroll, and digitization. Out of these 7 processes, 3 processes are step-by-step process, which means activity process. Make the first step, make the second step, third step. Here, discuss the process: sales, procurement, and payroll. Then we sales discuss one of the first step, one of the second step, third step. From PR to settlement. Sales from quotation to settlement. Likewise, out of these 7 processes, digitalization is IT topic, so that is separate one. So if you take other 6 topics, out of that 6 topics, 3 topics are processes like sales and purchase, step by step one. So next process we are going to discuss payroll process. Other than these 3 processes, we have additional 3 processes called management processes: cash management, inventory management, property plant and equipment management. So method or steps why we study करना है. Method management. Then organization got to may organization में assets A assets again most important assets PP, cash, inventory. एक को मतलब manage करना process. एक manage करना activities मोनो लगा भाई. Making discuss करना है cash management, PP management, inventory management. Okay. Then payroll process, sales process, purchase process again, activities, step by step. Study करना है, discuss करना है, ये वाली pattern है अपने में नहीं करना. मैं management process की discuss करना है, overall mind के दिया करना है, मैं ऐसा चीज़ manage करना process, manage करना activities, okay? ये बात हमारी मैं cash, property plant equipment and inventory management के अभी discuss करना है. एक first cash management process. Okay, so third chapter is cash the word called management. So, okay, manage. मेरा को मतलब manage करने किया है. So, before discussing the technical areas, I want to tell about certain things. The method in management, like cash management process is a vast area. So they want understand the study but management. Eva method. Okay, Eva method discuss करना है. Cash management चाहिए. Cash को मतलब हम करना होगा. करना होगा. एक होगा तो cash रन करना होगा. हम रन कर बस cash को मैंने increase करना होगा. एक होगा manage करना होगा. एक हमें working capital. Debtors turnover, debtors days, debtors days, turnover. अपन एक का मतलब discuss करना है. बेटा basic level का discuss करना है. Cash ओपन करा, earn करा cash को मतलब protect करना है. Okay. एक का हमें method discuss करना है. So if you take cash management process, it's a vast area. We can discuss so many things. The cash management process. Method basically अभी focus करना है earn कर cash का को मतलब protect करना. Without lose those cash, how we can protect? ये ने protect करने के लिए क्या है? Value in network. then आपका 100 rupees earn करो, 100 rupees का आगे pocket के लिए ना. ये ना final objective. 1 million earn करना दिया वाला, 1 million receive करना दिया वाला ये cash देगा. Organization ने receive करना दिया वाला, एक cash देगा, books वाला दिया नहीं. books වල තියන cash එක physically තියන්න ඕනේ. bag එකේ නැත්නම් cash in hand එකේ හරි තියන්න ඕනේ. ඒක මිස් වෙන්නේ නැතුව කොහොමද maintain කරන්නේ? okay ඒ perspective එකෙන් තමයි මේ chapter එක අපි discuss කරන්නේ. clear? So again I will tell cash management process is a vast area which we can discuss. Not enough to discuss at least 3 or 4 classes. It's a vast area. We can discuss ratios and we can discuss other things, how to protect the cash, how to we can increase the cash, those resources we can discuss. But here we have limit. The surplus of cash also we have, but it's a small area. But we can limit this discussion within the scope of how to protect, how to maintain the cash, what we earn. Okay. For that, what are the main topics we are going to discuss under this topic? So, what are the ways we are involving with the cash? What are the ways we are involving with the cash? First one is receipt. Okay, first one is receipt and payments. May they gonna be in the cash? Cash receipt, payment. Way of receipt, way of payment. Hence we have lot of ways. Take a discuss around. Cash getting involved in transactions for the receipts and payments. Clear out here? Sales, purchase, cash involved. Okay, fine. Finally, receipt and payments. If you sell item, then you will receive the cash. If you purchase any goods, you will make the payment. So, receipt and payments is the activity. Okay. So, these activities, now I am discussing the concept of queue. Okay. This what are the subtopics we are going to discuss? What are the topics we are going to discuss under this cash management process? So, receipt and payments are the most important thing. So, these receipt and payments must be recorded. Yes. Misunderstand කරගන්න එපා. Again I will tell. මෙතන අපි discuss කරන්න යන්නේ earn කරපු එක කොහොමද protect කරගන්නේ? කොහොමද manage කරගන්නේ cash? ඒ එතන issues තියෙනවානේ. So receipt and payments are the main activities involved in the cash process, cash process. So first, once you receive, those receipts and payments must be recorded properly. For that purpose, we are using cash book. Okay, we are maintaining cash book. Clear? So this entire part we can say recording. Okay, recording it. Whatever you will see, whatever you make the payment, you should record. Okay. Clear? Our focus in relation to this topic, how we are going to maintain the cash but we have received. Okay, with the, from issues from the this. Okay. So for that, what are the ways we are earning cash and what are the cash involvement in the organization? The way of cash involvement is receipt and payment. So first thing, those receipts and payments must be recorded properly. Then, only bank transaction, you know. Then organization will make topic then apply करूँ overall की day-to-day life here. That हमारा ये पूरा है हमारा ये network है. Overall की transactions में ना receipt payments whatever. Overall की transactions में ना base मोनो normally debit card, credit card, or physical cash, or online transfer. अरे मैं आता हूँ इतना बोलते हैं ना ते कुछ का आता है एक कुछ का पूरा पे normal day-to-day life में बनती है. Debit, credit, cash, or bank transfer. Then make a benefit then wow you fund transfer then credit card लेकिन start करना हो उन्होंने payment है this side करो payment है credit और debit card लेकिन start करो debit card लेकिन start करो कोता तो record में नहीं तो हम bank statement एक अच्छा कल्पना दे पाएं bank statement लेकिन credit card लेकिन start करो कोता तो record में नहीं credit statement अगर automatically है ना bank करो cash in front of the record cash को maintain करना cash को maintain करना है ऐसा क्या ना maintain करना है next भाई ये मतलब मैं normally उस सब के लिए normally कुछ expense किया है ऊपर से किया है detail perfectly है अबे मुझे payment करो देखो लेकिन सारा किया क्या note करो नहीं वरना cash को वो बोला कि cash को किया एक कौन है mind है The writing and not mind taking and the other money. No record at the end. Take a man. They go on in point. Then only personalizing credit card or debit card, credit card or debit card or online transfer, mono immediately real time record when our statement day. Organizations receipts and payments, whenever record current money, cash bookkeeping. Cash bookkeeping record करना okay I will come to next sections later but cash bookkeeping record करना clear so first point you should keep in your mind is the cash management process management activity whatever transactions involved in cash through cash means liquid cash इतना नहीं में I will come to later that one. Debit card, credit card, check transfer, bank transfer, online payment, all these things are considered as cash. Okay, then cash की वो liquid notes and coins की तरह नहीं है. ये एक मायने के लिए है. then cash का discuss करने हैमर है. Debit, credit, bank transfer, check transfers, liquid bank, liquid cash, like notes and coins. No comment. So, first important management process, you have to record the cash transactions. Recording is most important thing. So this is first one. What are the ways you can receive? Credit or debit card. Cash, bank transfers, check transfers. Okay, the same payments also. Debit or credit card payment. Liquid cash. Then cash කියලා කියන එක ඇවිල්ලා banks notes and coins කියලා දාන්න. මේකෙන් මෙතන ඊට මදි banks and notes කියලා දාන්න. Cash here also bank transfer and check payments. Okay, this is first management process. First management activity. One of the management activity. First, whatever you receive, whatever you make the payment, you should record properly in cash book. One subsection also there in the recording part. Okay, first one is recording. Okay, recording part. First one is the recording part. Okay. Second one, sorry, under first one, another subsection. Reconciliation. Okay. So first you have to record whatever transactions taking place in the cash. Second one, I would say 1.1 in the same recording. Second step, reconciliation. Okay, bank reconciliation. Specifically, we can say bank reconciliation. Okay. So shall I raise this one? I want them to say already. Okay, recording again subsection තමයි bank reconciliation. Okay, so first management activity is recording in cash book. So second one, once you record in the cash book, normally if you make any transaction through bank, especially check, okay, especially check transfers, then definitely you should prepare a bank reconciliation. So bank reconciliation also part of the recording management process, management activity. Okay, what is the purpose of recording transactions? Physical cash movement should be recorded properly in the books to avoid differences. Okay, then wherever 1,000 rupees here, for example, 8,000 rupees here, Monday vaga 1,000 rupees, last Monday vaga 1,000 rupees here, 8,000 rupees here, or let's say 5,000. Okay, 5,000 rupees you had on Monday. So throughout this 1 week period, you spend certain expenses. Now you have only 500 rupees, 4,500 rupees expenses you have incurred during this 1 week time. So you have only 500 rupees, but you have not recorded how you have spent this 4,500. Now you have only 500, but according to your mind, you should have 1,500. Then what are 5,000 තියෙනවා 4,500 actually was spent කරලා තියෙනවා After that, other again 500 rupees. But in your mind, you thought I would have 4,500. 1,000 rupees prashna here. Spend kare then recording so mismatching avoid organizations must use cash book. Okay, that part called recording activity. So one of the recording activities is bank reconciliation. Now, according to your bank book, your cash book, you should have 500. But according to, sorry, you should have 1,500. But according to actual scenario, 500 rupees is there. So what is the 1,000 rupees? Reconciliation should be done. So reconciliation also part of the recording process. Second one, investment of cash surplus. Company record payment system record reconciliation. Now you have excess cash. Second, management, cash managed for the processing. Confused make a management activities, cash managed for the basic activities. Okay. So first one management activities recording. Second management activity is how you can use excess cash. Then current account again, what 1 million excess here or one business. No other current. Business okay. You are doing a business. Now you have 1 million excess in your current account. Current account interest some okay, then 1 million you have in the current account. What can you do? Bank account that because that current account on give interest. Okay, so you can transfer those money to investment sources. FD, shares, money market, or you can lend money to businesses, investment loan. So that is called investment of cash surplus. But one thing, current account again, word is excess 1 million. Okay, current account again, certain limit amount that we are right to run the business. Okay, current account take come check transfer orders settle expenses, normal admin, operating expenses current account balance A balance A business decision 5,000 1 million 1.5 2 investment sources. Okay, so that is also managing cash. Okay, and third one, physical safeguards. Okay, physical safeguards. These three main topics only we are going to discuss under management process. Some subtopics are there. We will discuss while we are discussing the management process. So you should keep in your mind, cash management process is vast area. Managing cash is vast area. It's a part of working capital management. Okay, but we are not going to discuss those things here. We will discuss only basic management process. Those basic main management process, main one is first step is recording. Why you should record? Physical balances and book balances must be same. Whatever you make payment, whatever you receive, those must be recorded properly. They don't be physical and your book balances must be same. Second one, if you have excess cash, you can invest. Third one, physical safety. How you can protect cash from physical threats. So these are the things we are going to discuss under cash management process. Apart from this, another section called petty cash system. This is the management process. Okay, this is the management process. So petty cash process also petty cash system. Petty cash system. This is not both management process. Separate topic. Petty cash system also we will discuss under cash management process. How petty cash system should be work and processes. What are the documents involved in the petty cash? Those things we will discuss under this topic. Okay, this is the brief introduction of cash management process. Cash management process. Now we will move on to detailed thing. So first question, why we should manage cash? Why organization should manage cash? Answer is, in order to run the business smoothly, they should have cash. Cash is our base. So without any interruption, they have to run the business smoothly. So they have to manage the cash in proper manner. So here, first one, as I told, recording part. Okay, that is a summary of brief introduction of what I have given. What I have written here is a summary of brief introduction of management process. First one, maintaining and balancing cash flow. So every transaction must be recorded in the cash flow. So here I have given what are the things included in the cash flow. All receipts and payments must by check, bank transfer. Payments when a mostly basic receipts basic bank transfer, check transfer, debit credit note, debit and credit card, liquid cash, which means bank notes and coins. All receipts and payments by check or bank transfer, credit card should be recorded in the cash book. Similarly, all payments should be recorded in the cash book. The cash book is part of bookkeeping system. Maintaining an accurate cash book is essential. Note this point. Maintaining an accurate cash book is essential for effective control over cash in the business. Okay, maintaining cash book is most important thing. That's why I told in the cash management process, recording part is first thing. First, you have to record. Then only rest of the things you should do. Okay, the cash book is both a file for making the initial entries for cash received and cash payment. This is the format of cash book. Just for your understanding, I have given here debit and credit side, receipt side and payment side. Opening balance, receipt, payments and closing balance must be matched with physical balance. Recording cash received and bank, making payments from the bank account. These are the receipt side, payment side. All receipts and payments should be recorded in the cash book, and the accuracy of cash book balance should be checked from time to time bank reconciliation. So then given a cash book cash management first recording cash. Record karana, pass the record kar bank again bank reconciliation. So this is receipt side. What are the ways you can receive the bank? So receive the cash, bank notes and coins, receiving payments by check, and receiving payments by bank transfers. So here, banks, notes and coins, most businesses do not like to receive bank notes and coins. Lot of business and bank notes and coins are empty. For example, for a 2 million transfer banks notes and coins are bank transfer. Why this is high? Because of that, most of the big businesses, they don't like to deal with banks, notes and coins. Some business have to take notes and coins, but still we have some retail shops are doing. The retail shops, grocery shops, banks, notes and coins are used currently. Shops, for example, where money is received in the forms of notes and coins, cash should be controlled through the cash register. Receipts should be automatically recorded in the system, and receipts printed for customer. So here, in these two boxes, I have given the ways of receipt transaction, payment transactions taking place. So these are the bank notes and whatever we have mentioned in the short notes only, I have given detailed version. Okay, so for your understanding purpose, this is important. Receiving payments by checks. When you receive payments through checks, when receipts are in the form of check, each transaction is recorded on the receipts of cash book. First step, okay, by checks. The total recorded in the cash book and the total value of the checks should be the same amount. What we have received in the cash book and physical check, these must be carried. The cash book is cash book debit karna hai, debit kara amount hai, check receive amount hai, number of checks is same amount. If you do check transactions, okay, if they are not, an error has occurred and the accountant must go through the transactions again until the mistake is found and corrected. This procedure should ensure that checks are recorded correctly in the cash book. If any deviations observed, that must be reconciled by accountant. So, method data tiyanne meka mukut godak explain karana oda නෙමෙයි. Explain කරනවා එක තමයි මෙතන management process එක තියෙනවා activities එක recording excess cash flow excess surplus එක කොහොමද use කරන්නේ invest කරන්නේ and physical safeguards. ඒක තමයි main management process එක. මෙතන දීලා තියෙන්නේ explanation of detailed explanation of each and every process. Cash receipt එක නම් මොන form එකකද මේක එන්නේ. ඒක කොහොමද කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒක read කරොත් මේක එච්චර technical එකක් නෙමෙයි. read කරොත් understand කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Receiving payments by bank transfer. When money is received from customer by electronic bank transfer, the customer should notify the organization about the payment. Online transfer. This is important one. So here I have given the way of transaction and small description about most important thing about that transaction. So if you take check transfers, check, receipt and cash book balance must be carried. If you do bank transfers, let's say you are running a business, so I'm your customer, so I have made the payment to you for goods receipt. Then payment at bank transfer. Check check receipt deposit. Online transfer then pay most ways checks debit credit card online transfer. Okay, then mom making choose currently online transfer. Then online transfer mage account ekge mono payment credit debit cash credit debit set off why mono they make a common problem now. Another company can make a common problem. Make a specific problem, common problem. Make overall data. Mono the program. දැන් මම ඇවිල්ලා කෑෂ් එකකින් ඔයාලට දුන්නොත් ඕකේ මම තමයි දුන්නේ කියලා ඔයාලට දන්නවා ඔයා එන්ට්‍රි එක පාස් කරගන්නවා චෙක් එක ඇවිල්ලා ඔයාගේ අතේ දුන්නොත් ඕකේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ ඩෙබිට් කාඩ් එක දුන්නොත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ මම තමයි දුන්නේ මේ කස්ටමර් තමයි දුන්නේ කියලා සෙට් ඔෆ් කරගන්නවා මම ඔන්ලයින් ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර් මොනවද ඔන්ලයින් ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර් නිකන් ඉන්නවා ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ මගේ එකකින් මම සෙට් ඔෆ් කරගන්නවා දැන් ඔයා මොනවද කරන්නේ account statement එක යනවා ඔයාගේ බැංක් එකට ආවා ඔයාගේ බැංක් එක බලනවා ඒක අවශ්‍ය කරන බැංක් මම 1 මිලියන් පේ කරලා දෙනවා 1 මිලියන් බැංක් එකට ආවා ඔයාගේ ස්ටෙප් එක මොනවද ඊළඟට ඉතින් ඔයා අනිත් මේ ඔයාගේ රෙකෝඩ්ස් වල ක්ලියර් කරන්න ඕනේ ඩේටා සීට් යන බැංක් මොනවද කරන්නේ හැම ඕගනයිසේෂන් එකකම ලොකු ඕගනයිසේෂන් එකක මේ ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා ඒක අවොයිඩ් කරන්න බෑ හරිද හැම දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ වැඩ කරන ඕගනයිසේෂන් වල නැත්නම් ඔඩිට් කරන තැන් වල කියලා බලන්න පුළුවන් unidentified deposits කියලා තියෙනවා හැම තැනකදී ඒක අවොයිඩ් කරන්න බෑ දැන් කියමුකෝ 100 dollars customers ඉන්න තැනක ඉන්නවා නම් ඔක්කොම හරි විදිහට කරන්නේ නැහැ okay right control is if I do direct deposit, then I should send bank slip to you, mentioning my name and data code or something. Okay, some differences should be there. With that, I should send bank deposit slip to you. Then only you can remove outstanding balance from my account. That the moment you come down, you can know what bank you can deduct, you can debit to your cash book, but where you can create that entry. Data here create करना पड़ा, मोना data. Extra vital set. Overall की data एक ही ना एक ही remove करना back. Okay, but overall के normal account में overall remove करना नहीं. नहीं cash ले लेना चाहिए. Data ही तो remove करना है. Data वाले की remove करना नहीं overall. एक करना तो back. इतना recording प्रश्न आपके ना. एक करना मोना डेटा दिखा था हमने एक्स्ट्रा वाइज सेट किया था हमने एक प्रश्न को मिटिगेट करना है if I do direct deposit I should send slips that's the one explained here है भाई 100 dollars customer इन्होंने ना एक कंट्रोल लेके इंप्लीमेंट करना පුළුවන් ऑर्गेनाइजेशन प्रश्नයක් නැහැ හැමෝම ගාන 80ක් ඉස්සක් ගන්න ओके ඒක මොනවද කරන්නේ ඒකට कंट्रोल එකක් තියාගන්න ඕනේ ක්‍රියේට් ඩිපාර්ට්මන්ට් ඒක ෆලෝ අප් කරලා ඒක ක්ලියර් කරන්න ඕනේ ඒක ප්‍රැක්ටිකලි වෙන්නේ නැහැ ඕගනයිසේෂන්ස් වල මාස 6ක් මාස අවුරුද්දක් අවුරුදු දෙකක් අන්න ඒක දෙකකින් තියෙනවා ඒක කරන්න පුළුවන් ඒක කරන්නේ නැහැ 1 or 2 days ක්‍රියේට් ඩිපාර්ට්මන්ට් එකේ ඉන්වෝල්ව් වෙන්න ඒක කරන්න පුළුවන් but most important ඒක එහෙම කන්ටිනියස් එකක් නම් ඒක fraud indication එකක් ඒක යූස් කරගෙන fraud වෙන්න පුළුවන් fraud කරන්න පුළුවන් ඒක ඉන්ඩිකේෂන් එකක් ඒකට මොනවද කරන්න ඕනේ first control එක physical bank slip එක යවන්න මම deposit කරනවා I should send physical bank slip should be sent to you then based on that you can set off the data balance second one credit department of each and every organization should clear they should have control they should not keep more than 3 months unidentified balances. Okay, at least more than 3 months unidentified balances should be by them. They have to clear 3 months unidentified balances they net there. ඒක කියනවා මේක වෙනවද කියලා මට ෂුවර් නැහැ. Okay, ඒක control එක දෙනවා. ඒ control එක අවුරුදු දෙකක් මාස 9ක් කියලා එහෙම ට්‍රැක් කරලා ගියොත් ඒක fraud indication එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒක යූස් කරගෙන කවුරුහරි benefit ගන්න පුළුවන්. කොහොමද ගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා ඩිස්කස් කරනවා. නෑ ඒක control weakness. Wherever you see control weaknesses, that is the indication of fraudulent activities. Okay. So, if you do direct deposits, you have to send bank slips to relevant supplier. Then only they will set up your accounts. So, on the other hand, making payments. All payments should be authorized and appropriate management level before they are made. Already discussed in the supply of payments also. This is most important controls. As I told, payments and receipts are the critical area for fraudulent activities. Therefore, all the payments must be authorized by authorized person before making the payment. For payments to supplier, there should be a purchase invoice from the supplier. So before making the, mostly for the payment, there are two controls are important. Other controls also important, but mostly two main controls are there. Each and every payment should be supported by supporting evidence. Okay. ඔයා payment voucher raise කරනවා නම් ඒ payment voucher එක support කරන්න evidence එකක් තියෙනවා. දැන් electricity bill apply කරනවා නම් electricity bill එකක් තියෙනවා. supplier payment එකක් කරනවා නම් purchase invoice එකක් තියෙනවා. bonus එකක් pay කරනවා නම් ඒ bonus approval compute කරලා bonus portion එක compute කරලා ඒක approval දීලා තියෙනවා. So each and every payment voucher must be supported by supporting evidence. So here for payments to suppliers, there should be purchase invoice. So payments to any expenses, electricity, water bills, or stationery purchases, audit fee, accounting fee, all the payments must be supported by the invoices. Bank transfer, the accountant prepares a file for payment transactions for submitting to the bank. By checks should be written. Payments should be authorized by responsible manager. Large payments should be authorized by a person at an appropriate level in the management hierarchy. Already we discussed this matter. Hierarchies are there and levels are there. Up to 100,000 one person, 100 to 500,000 one person, financial controller, above 500,000 director. Likewise, each and every management should have hierarchies. When all payments have been recorded in the cash book, the total amount of payments in the cash book should be checked against the total value of bank transfers on the file to be sent to the bank. So here in these two boxes, recording part taking the main boxes dekama mention කරලා දෙන reason එක මේවා තමයි base of payment and receipt transactions. මේ base එකෙන් තමයි payments and bank transfers ටික වෙන්නේ. දැන් එක එක bank notes, check, bank transfers ඒ methods වල මොනවද key points ඒක තමයි මෙතන දීලා තියෙන්නේ. Okay, so if it is bank and notes, what is the key point? If it is payment by received by checks, those checks amount and check receipt list should be matched. If payments are made by receipts are coming from bank transfer, then bank list must be supporting document. On the other hand, payment side, if you make the payment, you should get the approval. That payment must be supported by the proper evidences. And if you make the check payment, then that must be reconciled with the bank reconciliation. And payments must be approved based on the hierarchy level. So the concept of these two boxes, methods of payments and receipt, each and every method, what is the key point? Okay, මෙතන මේ method එකේ මොනවද definition එක මොකුත් නැහැ. First එක මොනවද? record කරන්න ඕනේ. First, management cash management activity is recording the transactions. Under recording, what are the cash involvement methods? Receipt and payments. If receipts, what are the methods? Check, bank notes and coins, credit card, debit card, bank transfers. Same payments also same method. So each and every method, what are the key points? What are the key considerations? What are the concerns should be? What are the things must be concerned by the organization? Those things included here. Okay, clear? So next topic, bank reconciliation. So that one we will discuss next class. So once we finish so this is the one I have given, 1.1 note, bank reconciliation. This is also part of the recording process. Because once you record, that amount must be matched with the physical balance. Physical balance, the guy recorded balance compared to the reconciliation. But here we are going to discuss about bank reconciliation, bank note and cash book. So those things we will discuss next class.